In Alien Earth, there's one creature that's both fascinated and scared the living hell out of viewers. The T. Ocellus, or as most people call it, the Eyeball Monster. At the ending scene of episode 6, we get this haunting moment where the camera lingers first on Toodle's lifeless body, then almost immediately, it pans to the sheep, fully possessed by the Eyeball Monster. What happens next is chilling. That single alien eye locks directly on the camera, not just glancing, not just noticing, it feels like it's aware of the audience. A direct acknowledgement, a moment that almost breaks the fourth wall. What could it mean? There are a few possibilities. Maybe it's a hint that the monster is fully conscious of its place in the story, already understanding the rules around it. Maybe it's signaling intelligence far beyond what we've assumed, capable of not just surviving or adapting, but observing everyone, including us. Ever since its chilling appearance, fans have been trying to piece together exactly what it is, how it works, and what it's really planning. Today we're going to go deep, exploring its first appearance, its parasitic nature, the bigger symbolism at play, and what role this creature could ultimately have in the series. By the end, we'll uncover the most compelling theory yet, that the Eyeball Monster is more than just a monster. It's a strategic invader with a purpose. The Eyeball Monster's first appearance isn't in a lab, it's aboard the USCSS Magino. After the ship crashes, specimens escape within the ruins, setting the stage for chaos. The crew and the hybrids are first exposed to signs of its presence through a cat mutilated, one of its eyes removed. That eye doesn't just disappear, it moves independently, crawling on small tentacles before striking nibs. This moment serves as the creature's first demonstration of intelligence and intent. It's not a mindless predator, it's invasive, calculated, and shows that even at its earliest appearance, the Eyeball Monster has very specific methods of takeover. The Maginot incident sets the tone for everything that comes after. The sheep is just step one. The real plan is bigger. Think about it. The eye isn't just flesh, it's vision, perception, awareness. By replacing the eye, the monster isn't just attaching itself. It's controlling how its host sees the world, and possibly how the world sees them. This makes the creature more than just a parasite. It's an invader of identity. It rewrites the host at the most fundamental level, not just how they move, but how they experience reality. In science fiction and mythology, the eye is loaded with symbolism. It represents knowledge, surveillance, power, the all-seeing eye. By taking that as its entry point, the Eyeball Monster is making a statement. It's not like a chest burster or a brain parasite. This is different. It doesn't just want to live in the host. It wants to dominate the host's perspective. Everything the host sees, the creature sees, every secret, every weakness, every opportunity. And if you extend that idea, you realize this creature doesn't just consume, it learns, it studies, it prepares. There's 3 theories floating around that make the most sense to me. Theory 1. The Scout. The Eyeball Monster is an advanced agent of something much larger. It's here to infiltrate, learn, and prepare Earth for a full-scale invasion. It's not the war itself. It's the Scout laying the groundwork. Theory 2. The Weapon. Some fans believe this thing was engineered by aliens. The containment setup suggests someone already knew what it could do. Could it be the product of genetic experiments, splicing alien DNA into new forms of parasitic life? If so, who created it? And why? Theory 3. The Hive. This is the most chilling. What if the Eyeball Monster isn't alone? What if there are more, each capable of linking hosts into a networked hive mind? Imagine hundreds of infected, all with eyes replaced, connected to a single intelligence pulling the strings. The sheep was containment, but if it escapes, the stakes get much higher. Imagine this thing inside a human host, a scientist armed with knowledge, a soldier armed with weapons, or worse, someone in power. A single monster is dangerous, but a monster disguised as a leader walking freely among us, that's apocalyptic. And here's the disturbing part. The show has already set this up. We've seen characters behave strangely, almost too strangely. Are some of them already compromised? Was the sheep just the first we actually saw on screen? The best monsters in science fiction aren't just scary, They're reflections of human fears. The eyeball monster represents surveillance, identity theft, and the loss of autonomy. Think about it. Something looking out through your eyes, using your body, making choices for you. You're alive, but you're not in control anymore. That's scarier than death. That's the erasure of self. And this makes the monster not just a threat to individuals, but to the idea of humanity itself. Here's a wild theory. What if the eyeball monster's endgame isn't just to infect, but to evolve? Each new host might give it something new. Instincts, memories, abilities. The sheep was only step one. With each jump, it becomes stronger, smarter, more capable. Eventually, it might not just be a parasite. It could become a hybrid, a fusion of alien and human intelligence, a perfect infiltrator. Of course, fans are already comparing it to other famous creatures. The Xenomorph, for example, is pure survival horror. It kills to reproduce. The Venom symbiote, on the other hand, bonds and shares with its host. But the eyeball monster is something different. It doesn't just use the host as a vehicle. It hijacks perception itself. That makes it more insidious. You can't fight what you can't see coming, especially when it's looking out through the eyes of someone you trust. So where does this leave us? If the eyeball monster becomes central to the story, it could shape the rest of the season in a massive way. Imagine an arc where no one knows who's infected. Suspicion grows, paranoia spreads, friends turn against each other. Or maybe the monster doesn't just want one host. Maybe it wants many, slowly building a hidden army until the final reveal. The invasion has already begun. The eyeball monster might have started in containment inside the body of a sheep, but that's not its story. That's just its beginning. It's a parasite, a spy, a manipulator, and maybe the key to understanding what's really at stake in Alien, Earth. The most terrifying thing about it isn't what it's done so far, it's what it's preparing to do, because the moment it finds the right host, everything changes, and judging by how the show has been building, that moment is coming soon. So, what do you think? Is the eyeball monster a scout, a weapon, or the seed of a hive mind invasion? And who do you think it might take over next? Let me know your theories down below, because I think this is only the beginning of something much bigger.